Hi there, welcome back to What the Flick. We are so happy to have Bo Burnham with us, the writer-director of 8th Grade, which we reviewed last week on What the Flick, which we loved. And I know you're probably a really, really busy dude right now because your film had an enormous, amazing opening. So congrats to you on
Appreciate
that.
It. Thanks for having me.
Highest per screen opening of 2018.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about
It's pretty
that?
good. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah.
So
It's Monday, so I don't know what to think.
Yeah.
Thank you for seeing us
Well,
on
thanks
this
for being
busy
here.
Monday, yeah.
I was not part of that review. I saw it yesterday, but I just wanted the text I sent to my wife immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
Just reading it here. Best teenage movie I've ever seen, ever. 8th Grade, spectacular.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you.
So I would have joined in the chorus
Yes.
of praise.
Is your first teen movie you've seen?
First teen movie I've ever seen. It turns out I didn't think it was
Good.
legal to make movies about them. Yeah.
It shouldn't be. There's a loophole.
Yeah, that's a great film.
Well, thank you for being here. Yeah. So filmmakers often say when they're asked for advice, like, tell the story you're dying to tell that you will not survive if you don't tell. This is your first feature.
Yeah.
Why tell this story?
I don't know. I wanted to talk about, I think, young people and the internet and sort of how I was feeling when I was writing it, which was very nervous. So that was the initial impulse. It definitely wasn't like, I want to write about 8th grade. It was really like, I want to write about how I'm feeling and what it feels like to be alive right now, which to me was like confusing and weird and strange, and I'm out of my depth and I'm trying to grasp at something and it's slipping through my hands. And
When did you
8th
write?
grade.
When did you write it?
2014, so like 3 or 4 years ago, I wrote it pretty quickly. It was like a couple weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks, the first draft, very, very quickly. And then sort of had to revisit it every few months to make sure the times weren't a change in too quick, which they always were.
Now there's Snapchat.
Yeah, now the country's on fire. All that
Little
stuff.
things, and you can Snapchat it.
Yeah, exactly.
We just, one of the movies I'm a host at Turner Classic Movies, and one of the movies we show often, The Yearling. And there's a story about the casting. They looked at over 1,000 kids for the little kid who befriends the orphaned fawn, and they found Claude Jarmon Jr., the Clarence Brown, the director, says that they'd seen all these kids, and then when he saw him, he was like, well, that's it. I don't need to do any more for Elsie Fisher. How did that casting go, and how challenging to cast it? And
She was the second person in the room because I had found her online and thought she was right, and then I had to audition hundreds of other kids to prove to myself that it was right.
So she was second, and then hundreds came afterwards.
Yeah,
and you
kind
hired
of.
her.
Yeah, but it was always her. I mean, every other kid that came in, she's playing a kid that's shy, whatever that word means, and Bo did most quiet in her class, and every other kid that came in, they would play it. It felt like a confident kid pretending to be shy, and she felt like a shy kid pretending to be confident, which is the actual role. She understood that it could have been a very passive, empty role, but she knew that being shy isn't being shy and not talking. Being shy is trying to speak all the time and not being able to. So she just was able to imbue her with a lot of forward momentum, which is like the whole movie. I mean, it doesn't matter if you don't feel like this person has drive and direction. She was the only one that understood what her drive was.
Yeah, but you open with her shot of the YouTube video where she projects. She's her confident best self when she's just talking to a camera.
Yeah.
And so right in the beginning we get that. So I don't know, that I think contrasted so nicely with the moments then when you see her actually attempt to interact with other people and how brutal that is.
And none of the other young actors that would come in, though very talented, understood that contrast. It was the same. They were the same person, the bubbly person in their videos that they were in real life. And she understood the layers of the performance, because it really is a performance of a performance. It's a kid trying to be a bunch of different versions of herself.
And there's such truth to that. I mean, no matter whether you're 12 years old and you're in 8th grade or you're us now, we're all trying to put that version of ourselves forward.
Exactly.
And you indicate that so effectively and so truthfully here. What did you have to tell her, or what did you tell her in directing her? Because it feels really effortless. Every moment, every breath feels very authentic.
It was trying to not objectify it too much and talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, I did a lot of acting when I was young in theater and had really good theater teachers. And the best thing is to just let the kids do it and empower them to be a part of it. And I just think for acting in general, it doesn't help to sit around and talk about the motivations and what this is. It's like, let's get it on its feet and try it and see what it feels like from the inside. Especially film acting is like, a film day can be 9 hours of lighting and actually 15 minutes of acting, and we really tried to not engineer it to be that way, so that it was like we were acting a lot, and we were the conversation should be the takes and the rehearsal itself rather than actually talking about it, because I don't think you're supposed to stand outside the character and look at it from an arm's length. You're supposed to be within it.
Where did you find her voice? It's so specific.
Her, like this,
in writing her as a character.
It was watching videos of kids with 10 views on YouTube, like talking about themselves and just transcribing everything they said, every sound. So the script is written, yeah, like so the thing about being yourself is wait.
Wow.
That makes her performance so great.
But it is to her credit. It's not improvised. I can show you 9 takes where she stumbles in the same place every time.
So that's great because you had like the principal stumbles too. Like you had so many great, and he's trying to make a joke and he stumbles, and I'm like, that's so fantastic.
Yeah, part of it was just like giving everyone permission to like, you don't have to be word perfect. Life is about being unable to articulate yourself. We wanted to kind of do a movie that articulates itself in contrast to the way movies usually articulate themselves. You can feel that a lot of the kids, like, part of her struggle in the movie is she wants to sound like all the kids in movies that she watches. You know what I mean? And she's kind of stressed out because she can't. But the story of being young is being inarticulate. The story of being anyone is being inarticulate.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I love about this is that maybe on paper it has the elements of teen movies you've seen, right? There are the mean girls, there's a boy she has a crush on, there's the dad who tries to communicate with her, there's the awkward party. But every single time it takes a turn and it surprises us, and there's truth to it and not the formulaic teen movie stuff. And I love that about it. How hard was it for you to fight to keep that integrity throughout the development and the production process?
It wasn't, it didn't feel too much like a fight. Like part of it was like, we're not trying to be original just to be original, because I don't tend to like that stuff. It's like, life is cliched, life is original, life is all those things. So just try to approach your story honestly. Sometimes we'll stumble onto something we haven't seen in a movie. Sometimes we will stumble into something that we've seen in a Cheerios commercial, like a daughter and her father across the dinner table arguing. But it was just like, just try to approach it honestly. And that was our tone. That's what we were going after. And we had really wonderful collaborators in the studio.
Who played the dad? What's his name?
Josh Hamilton.
So Josh Hamilton. So there's two. You get moments with the daughter and the dad of brutality at the kitchen table, right? Where she's listening to her phone. She wants nothing he said. Everything he says is the worst thing anyone has ever said to another person. And then in a tender moment, and both feel so pure and original. And I think it just there must be a significant challenge in getting them both to work equally.
Yeah, it's interesting because she's a very raw new talent, and Josh is a trained theater and film actor. So yeah, there was a little of both of them to learn from each other. Maybe a little bit of structure from Elsie learning from Josh, and a little bit of chaos from Josh to Elsie. And yeah, it was really that was the one stuff we did rehearse with the actors. Every other scene, I didn't want to put her with the actors until the day, just because that's the only scene that is familiar to her. Everything else in the movie is a new experience, but she has done the dinner scene 1,000 times in her real life. You know what I mean? So we ran that scene 1,000 times, and by the time we got to filming it, both of them were so tired. I mean, she was so tired she was so genuinely annoyed with Josh.
No, but the speech at the end, and this is not hyperbole, is on par with Michael Stuhlbarg's speech at the end of Call Me By Your Name.
That's nice.
It is that touching. It is that lovely.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
So thank you for that. Thank you for being here. This movie was out in New York and LA this weekend. Where's it going after this? Tell us.
It's going to 10 other cities.
Including?
DC, Chicago, San Francisco, Seattle, Minneapolis, Atlanta, Austin.
Oh, you got him.
You have no excuse. You got
Boston.
Boston.
Yes, your home of Boston.
And Des Moines. No.
There's no way. There's no way it's not one of the great movies of 2018.
One of the best of the year. I agree. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks, Jeremy. It's so kind. Thank you.
Thanks.